Alright, let's talk about clerics. So, currently, clerics are very, very strong healers. They wear plate armor. So, they have higher mit than some of the other physical mit than some of the other healers. Their healing style is reactive heals. So what does reactive heal mean? So when I put this reactive on me, it says when any damage is received, so I'll attack this, it's gonna heal me back a certain amount. So every time I'm hit, it's gonna heal me. So every time he swings at me, you'll see I get healed for a certain amount. And it's got a certain amount of triggers on it. So it says 1 use remaining. So once I get hit one more time, the buff will fall off. So that is how reactives work. So you get single target reactives and you get group reactives. Single target is 5 triggers, I believe. Yeah, and the group is 3 triggers per person. So that's one thing that all clerics get. That's their healing style. Some other things that clerics get specifically, they get a resurrect spell at level 50. It gives no res effects and it gives you 100% max health. So it's probably one of the better res spells in the game for a healer. So the thing that really sets clerics aside is they can cast while running. So they're the only priest that all of their heals and buffs they can just cast while running. So all their flat heals, all their reactives, they can just cast whenever they want. Another thing they can cast while running is cures. So casting my group cure. I can do a single target cure all while running. Let's see if I can get this guy to put like a debuff on me. Well, man, it's no big deal if I can't, but yeah, you can cast while running. Oh, and it's not, so you can't cast your spells while running, so, or your damaging spells, so it's only your heals. So it is limiting in that sense, but still being able to cast all of your heals while running is just incredible. Probably makes them the strongest healers in the game. However, I will say that some of the other healers, specifically druids, like their heals are shorter cast time, so may not make them extremely better, but in general, that's amazing. Other than that, clerics get Odyssey, which is it's just a little thing that can teleport a person back to their bind point. It's nice. So if that person has their return spell down, I forget what it's called, Call to Home. If it's down, you can teleport your group mates back home. So that's all the things that clerics specifically get. Let's go into we have a Templar here. Let's go into Templars and talk a little bit about Templars. We'll start with the group buffs like normal. Templars only get 2 group buffs, and they're very similar to all of the other priest group buffs. So max health, mit, stamina, and mit versus some sort of resist. So they get stamina and arcane, and then max health, mit, physical mit. Otherwise, they get a number of single target group buffs. We've got Glory. Let's just pull them all up real quick. So we've got Glory, which is a buff that you would want to put on like a scout or a tank, and whenever they do any sort of hit, it has a chance of just healing the group, which is pretty nice. You've got Agilism, which is a stamina buff that also gives weapon skills, which is really nice. This eventually turns into a group buff later on. And then one of the really nice skills that Templars get, that the other cleric doesn't get, is Unyielding Benediction. It just has a percentage based chance whenever you get damaged to proc a stone skin, or so it says will absorb physical damage. The spell will absorb a total of 1 attack. So put this on the tank, and anytime he's hit, he has a chance of proccing a stone skin. So super good. Let's see if I'm missing anything there. Nope. So that's all of the buffs that I wanted to go over. Some other namesake skills. We have Shield of Faith, which is an arcane ward. So there's certain AoEs, of course, that are arcane only. This will help you survive those. It also increases your arcane resists, but it's specifically for arcane damage. And then we have Focus Intervention, which is it's a kind of like a toggleable ability that it is maybe it's not toggleable, but put it on someone. It gives 8% or 8 uses of. It's just like an extra reactive, pretty much. So let me attack here. So it's an extra single target reactive. Except for every time you get hit with it and it heals you. You can tell it heals for more than like the normal reactives here by quite a bit. Every time it heals, it also drains a little bit of your power. So has a little bit of a downside, but it's a big heal. So in general, it's pretty good. All right, so let's talk a little bit about generally Templars. So as you can just tell from looking at the buffs, they're really good in terms of tank support, defensive support, having extra reactives, having the stone skin buff, having the glory, which is also going to keep your party alive because it heals the group whenever it procs. In general, very defensive, very good tank healer. They also get a number of debuffs, and I wasn't going to go into every single debuff, but they do get some combat mint debuffs. They get some procs that will proc like cures and heal and AoE. So there's some pretty interesting debuffs that they get. They also get 5 DPS spells. So they get a couple dots, and then they also do extra damage to undead targets. And they also get an encounter spell. Overall, though, their spells, even though they have like one more than some of the other healers, they do a little bit less damage, like overall damage per spell. But really solid. The healing on the run is just outstanding, and generally it's just great for clerics. And but that's pretty much it for Templar. So again, very good in tank groups, like in a main tank group in the raid, or just for keeping tanks and scouts alive. They don't really add a ton to the DPS of the group, though. It's just purely defensive and healing. Alright, that's it for Templar. Let's move on to Inquisitors. Alright, and the Inquisitor. So let's start in the same spot we did with our other healers. We have the group buffs. So we've got same thing, max health and mit, stamina and arcane resists. And we get one other group buff as an Inquisitor. That is a damage proc. So it just does divine damage. The trigger chance is pretty low. It's 1 time per minute. So not going to proc a ton, but it is a damage proc, which is nice. Other group buffs that we get, we will get a single or tenacity, which is stamina, and on live servers it's multi-attack. On TLE servers, I'm pretty sure it's DPS mod. but extra DPS. And then we also get Inquest, which is a power proc. So we can actually put this on a scout or a mage or someone in the group, and 14% chance to actually decrease the power of the thing that they are attacking or we are attacking. And then it increases my power by a certain percentage. And as you can see, it says it can only trigger every 1.2 seconds. So used to, you would put this on someone and you would never run out of power. Now it just kind of helps with power, but you can still run out. So that is the buffs. In terms of namesake skills, really only have one to talk about. That's of course, Inquest I would also consider a namesake skill, but it is a buff. This one is a toggleable buff that gives your entire group primary stat, avoidance, haste, and it also gives reuse speed in the future, or at least it says it gives reuse speed. I don't know if they remove that from this buff, but I know it used to give reuse speed, so you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is a really super good buff that helps a lot with DPS. And the only thing about it is in Classic and up until I can't remember exactly which expansion, you get AAs to reduce the power cost. It does have a recurring power cost, so it is something that does drain your power over time. But generally, Inquisitors are the more DPS oriented of the two Clerics. So you still have all your heals while running, and cures while running, but you can see that we actually have 2 encounter damage abilities, and that brings them overall to a level of 6 DPS spells, which I think may be the highest out of all of the healers. You get 3 dots here, which is nice. And then you get 3 direct damage spells. But in general, they still, when it comes to these direct damage spells, they do a little bit less damage than some of the other healers' damage spells. So that's really it for Inquisitors. They're great in scout groups because they give the DPS mod. They're not bad in healer or in mage groups either. I still think Furies are a little bit better, but in general, adding DPS mod, the extra reuse, the damage proc, and just overall having a little bit more damage makes them really good for off-tank groups and scout groups and just overall really good healers. And being able to cast while running and being kind of a DPS oriented healer is pretty awesome. So that's it for Inquisitors. So thank everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you have any commentary, maybe there's something I missed, maybe something I or I misspoke, please leave a comment, let me know, and I'll correct it in the description. I'm gonna have links to the other healers in the description, as well as a priest basic video, so make sure you watch the priest basics first, then watch through this, and then also watch any of the other priests if you're interested in them. So thank you for your time. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified when new videos are available. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.